Well, good afternoon, campers. It's the 24th, I think, of October. It's 15:39. I was just looking on that Mells World, Mells Van World, whatever he calls himself. And he's on about condensation in his van. Well, now, I'm a firm believer of not having a damp course, whatever you want to call it, or a bloody vapour barrier. Because my van, as you know, is a bought van. And when I took my panels on the walls down, because I was getting a lot of heat in, I found I had gaps, sometimes up to 9 inches down the side of the windows with no insulation on. So I insulated the wall by the bed. I've re-insulated the roof. And the only piece I haven't insulated is the piece above the cab here, or redone, and the bit over there behind the sink and that. But what I did find is in this cupboard here is, I can't even won't be able to show you, but at the back of it there's a 4 or 5 inch gap. I don't know if you can see it all along the back. I don't know if you can make that out or not, but there's a gap. So in the summer, in the winter, I tend to get as you said before you so I go back to sit down, I've just showered in here this morning, and that's all as it should be. Nice squeaky clean. Yeah, and what I find that in the winter, if I don't leave that cupboard open, that I get condensation on top of my tins, and that's the only condensation I get in here. Now, when you people do these vans and they put these cheap single glazed windows in the side, they all look nice, but they're fucking rubbish, aren't they? And they don't work. So basically, if you build a camper van with camper van stuff and not minibus stuff, it's a lot better. Now, I've been back here since 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Slept in here, showered in here, because we've got no fucking heating in the house, and bloody, it's a long story, but I'll quickly go through it. The heating went, not the heat, I'm sorry, the heating never went, the hot water went. So I messed about it and noticed it was dripping. Now she won't turn it on, so there's no central heating in the house. I messed about with the shower and tried to put an on-off switch on the shower, but you can't do that on an on-demand shower unit. So I've cooked that, and so I've got another one on order. That should be here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. I'll get that fit. And Mel was showing you about this Karachi, fucking whatever they call it, these vacuums for windows and glass and whatever. Well, I've had mine about 9 years, and I've never found to use it on the inside of the windows because I don't really get condensation. Now, my windows here, I've got these paper type blinds. There's a little gap at the top, there's a little gap at the bottom. Well, I haven't looked over it today, but as you can see, there's very, very little condensation, just a little bit right at the bottom, but there's no condensation at all. But then it is ventilated, but I don't keep my windows open. I haven't looked, so I might be telling you something that's totally wrong here. But yeah, but see, my windows aren't steamed up. But these cardboard or whatever they are blinds, I mean, I know they're expensive, because when I bought this, these front ones came with it, and I had to buy the side ones separate, and I think they're about £180 a side or something. But they work so well, and I don't seem to get condensation there. Now, as you can see, I've got gas heating, and I don't know if you can make that out, but it says 59% moisture and 21.6 is the temperature. Now, I've showered in here this morning, and that should make moisture up. I don't know what my thing on the fridge is like. Let me have a look at that one. You are? Oh, that's bloody wrong way around. He's saying the moisture is right. That's what it should be, because if it gets too dry in here, which it does in the winter, it gets on my chest. But Yeah, so all this going on about putting damp courses in, or not damp course, vapor barriers in, I don't really agree with that, because this hasn't got one in here, and it doesn't seem to suffer for it. Mind you, there isn't any bare metal showing, I must admit, so nothing condensates. But also with these more modern, well, I say it's 10 years old now, but with these more modern vans, you do have this. You've got vents all along the windows, both sides, and you've got it at the back as well. So it actually breathes, you know, so you can't really block them up. Underneath my cooker, there's a vent in the floor, and underneath my bed, there's a vent in the floor. But putting dry heat in, which is air blown, you know, putting a set of these blinds on the windows, I think that would help cure. Well, I don't know if it helped cure Mel with his Sprinter, because everything goes around and insulates everything and blocks it up and doesn't leave all the channels, do they? Because I mean, there's channels down in where the sills go, and I've had a look. I've been behind there when I re-trimmed my. Because if you look on here, that material there was the original material that came. Well, I've leather clothed the front, and that's fucking how you call it. But it's like a felt, not like a felt, like what do you call it? Like a suede. Something they call it, don't they? I can't remember what they call it, but something like that. So while I took that apart, and then what I've done with my cupboards is my cupboards here, they inside they, I don't know if we can tell. I've got anything in there I don't want you to see, I don't think. But what's that called? They slope back. So what I've done is I insulated. That's the wipes from my hay fever. They slope that way. So what I've done is I insulated the back of them before I put them back up, and I insulated the walls as well. So that stopped the heat coming through there. But the only place that it's not covered, to my knowledge, is behind the fridge, because it's got electric fridge anyway. So that's my little opinion on just saying damp course, don't you? Vapor barrier. I think if you put a vapor barrier up, it's a bit like, this is my opinion, if you've got a glass and held a glass up to your mouth like that, it went, you'll get vapour on the inside of the glass, won't you? So if you imagine all around the inside of your van is plastic, which a vapour barrier is, and the moisture can't get through it, then the moisture can't get into your insulation and it can't dry it out. So whatever's in the van stays in the van, and whatever's outside the van in the moisture, which the cold comes in and causes condensation or whatever, stays there, doesn't it? Does that make sense? I can't really think if that makes sense or not. Anyway, I'm fucking bored now, so I can go in. I'll speak to you all later. Remember, stay classy, love you all. Remember, no fighting. Bye bye. And you skins.